Good morning, fish tubers and regular tubers and every flavor of tuber that's out there likes to look at pretty fish. Um, this video is going to be more aimed at fish keepers in general and cichlid owners, people with cichlid tanks. Discus are just one type of cichlid, but cichlids all generally have an instinctive pattern to their behaviors. And today's video topic is going to be, why are my discus, or why do my discus fight? You might find yourself asking that question. Generally, your tank is doing fine and everybody gets along, and then sometimes it's mayhem and they're just beating the crap out of each other. And why does that contrast exist, right? Like, it's a good question. I've asked it to myself. I've done the research, and I've put it together as best as I can, because researching on the internet can be a little wonky. But here's what I've come up with. In the cichlid natural environments, this applies to Africa, and it applies to South America. You have seasons. You have a rainy season, and you have a dry season. And everybody knows that. We've all watched the nature shows. We've seen the differences, and they contrast greater in Africa, where you got nice green everything, and then the dry season comes and it's bone dry and everything's dried up and dead. So my point is, happy fish are fish that believe that their tank conditions are simulating the rainy season. And that means, like, you'll notice all fish in general, but cichlids for sure. You do a water change and everybody's trying to lay eggs, right? Because they think it just rained, and that's the best time to try and breed, is in the rainy season, because things are rough, things are dire in the dry season. And in the dry season, they have to be more competitive. So, of course, so what happens is, in the rainy season, the rivers jump their banks, and there'll be all kinds of indentations and ponds and stuff alongside the river that fill up with fresh water. And the fish, because the water level's high, will make it into these swim into these areas and start using them. Then the rain stops, the water starts to evaporate, because they're both hot places, and you end up with fish that get trapped in these little pools. They're small ponds that turn into little pools, and the water progressively evaporates until maybe it dries out, and every fish that's trapped in there dies. So they have instincts to cope with that situation, and that's where the aggression comes from. So if they feel like their tank conditions have changed, say the flow's been reduced, water quality drops, because of course that puddle will be cut off from the main river, or the main lake, as rivers for discus. And so the fresh flow of water stops, and they start to realize they're trapped. And then, okay, now I'm trapped in a puddle with 50 other cichlids, and I'm running out of resources quickly. The oxygen levels are getting worse. pH is dropping rapidly. Ammonia is increasing. All of these bad things are happening because the puddle has been cut off from the flow. Then their instincts kick in. They realize they want to be that last fish that survives until the next rainfall, so they can escape this puddle. And they start fighting, and they'll kill each other to be that last fish. And that's what's going on. That's really where aggression comes from. It's really linked to water quality. So keep your flow up, keep your water clear, do your water changes, and your cichlids won't fight. This is not fighting. This is just pecking order, and all cichlids do pecking order stuff. So fighting is like they're going at each other so hard and swimming so fast that damage is occurring, and people are scared and hiding in corners and stuff. And you know when it's like, I'm talking violence. There's a big difference. And these fish, if they get in that mode, they will kill each other. So because they think they're trapped in a puddle. So you got to make them. You got to keep them in rainy season mode. If you let your conditions simulate what they might experience in a puddle, then their puddle instincts kick in. Let's call it that, and then it turns into a fight for life and a competition for space, and all that stuff. So they want to be in a thick school, in a fast-flowing river, and that's what you have to give them. And that's why I can overstock my tank and it stays peaceful. That's why my fish aren't killing each other. People are like, that looks like too many fish in your tank. And it is, if you're following the rules and you're not over filtering and paying attention to these things. But in optimal conditions, cichlids in general, and more so with these discus, they want to be, if you go and watch footage of them in the wild with cameras underwater, a school of discus is hanging out just like this. They're even thicker than this. There's even more density than I have. So, but if I had 9 discus in this tank right now, they wouldn't feel safe. And if they don't feel safe, they start feeling like they're in a puddle, and yeah, and then you get fighting, you get deaths. So that's how you avoid it. Another thing about schooling fish when they're fighting, it generally means you don't have enough of them. They need, they're schooling fish and they need a school. So that's the other reason why you might be noticing your discus fighting. You've got 5 or 6 of them, and they're just not happy with that number. So, that's why a lot of people that try to follow the rules and in a 75-gallon tank, they never get anywhere, because they've got 6 to 8 discus, and 8's better than 6, but I found it wasn't enough. So they want a dozen or more to feel happy, and so just double that rule. Jack your filtration, keep your flow up. Everything I'm saying is what they'll tell you not to do, but that's why they can't have 2 discus per 10 gallon, because they won't listen to me. And it's not saying listen to me, but they think their way. I tried it their way. I'm doing it my way, and my fish are happy. So when I did it their way, misery, sickness, conflict. So these are the reasons why A, I stock heavy, and B, they don't fight despite the fact that I'm stocking heavy. And we're coming up on 10 minutes, so I'm going to cut it off there, because it's been suggested not to do these things too long, but you have to talk about what you have to talk about. So we'll keep things around 10 minutes, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.